Hey guys, I hope you're doing very well. Thank you for watching this video. In this video, I want to talk about 6 lessons that I've learned recently that really helped me grow my agency further. And I just want to share that with you completely raw, no editing, and I hope you find it useful. So in case you don't know, I've grown my agency. I worked basically in the med spa niche. We work with over 140 clinics in the UK, Ireland, and a little bit in the US as well. And yeah, I just want to share my knowledge in this video because I think these things really help me, and hopefully that can help you as well. So first thing is that I've learned recently is the importance of a client success manager in your business. A good client success manager will either break your business or grow your business. So if you're doing the client communication on your own right now, that's fine, but it's important to understand that keeping clients for the long term always comes down to 2 things: clients results and clients relationship. So you need to have both, and if you only have one of them, you're going to struggle growing your agency. And like in this specific advice, I'm not talking about the results, that's for another advice, but just for the relationship, results are always going to go up and down, and there's always going to be moments or weeks or even sometimes months of lower results. And if you don't have an incredible way to kind of communicate with the clients and good SOPs and processes to stay in touch with the clients, when things are going bad, you're going to struggle keeping these low performing clients, because the name of the game growing an agency is to find ways to keep the lowest performing clients for the longest amount of time, because the clients that you're crushing it for, they're obviously much more likely to stay with you, but the name of the game is just keeping the low performing clients. And relationship is very important, and you got to hire a good client success manager. And a mistake that people can, I think, often make is hire people based off how nice they are, like maybe customer support type of people, or someone sweet that is likable, but that is actually not the type of people you want to hire. You want to hire the kind of people that are more coming from a sales background, and you want to basically give them commission based off the amount of revenue they bring and how much they can upsell clients. If a client success manager managed to upsell a client for 3 months or 6 months and the client pays in full, the client success manager needs to be rewarded. And if you don't have an incentive for your client success manager to be rewarded based on the amount of cash he brings in the business, you're doing yourself a big disfavor. So you want to hire someone that has the sales experience, is very important, that obviously is likable as well, and that is on top of things. So that's the main quality that I'm looking for when I hire a client success manager. And you really have, it's really like a sales job. They're here to bring money in the business, upsell clients, and when their things are going bad, resell them on the expectations, lower down their expectations. And that's literally sales. That's negotiating what the service delivery should look like. If you don't have someone that is good at negotiating and reporting onto client, you're ultimately going to fail. So that's very important to hire a good CSM. Now, another big lesson I've learned lately, and this one is massive for me, is hire in due time. Let me explain. You want to, oftentimes, you hear the advice that you got to grow your business and everything, and you got to delegate and just grow the revenue, hire people to do the work for you so you can be passive and you can work on the business and not in the business. And that's 100% true. However, you got to be careful, because you got to think of the profit first, The mistake I've done is I've hired people too fast when I didn't have the revenue to support that hire, and I thought that I'll hire the people, and then that's going to free up some of my time, and I'm going to use that time to go ahead and make more money, which is true on paper. But if you overhire when you don't have the revenue for it, then you have to take on your own salary as a business owner. And you can be in that mindset and gross mindset of saying, I'll just get paid later. I'll get paid later. I'm here to grow the revenue, build the business, build the empire. But it's not a healthy business. It's not a healthy way to think about business. You always have to think of profit first. There's a beautiful book called Profit First that I'm reading right now. I think I talked about it in my previous video, but I highly recommend that anybody with low profit margins that struggles, to read this book. It's very, very important. It's concept of, hire in due time, or just don't overspend on expenses. I get it. It's tempting to, I see both. I see the kind of people that don't want to hire at all. They're like, I'm going to squeeze as much profit margin as I possibly can from my business. I want my agency to make 60 or whatever, like 70% profit margin, even 80. And I'm just going to it's going to be just me and a media buyer and maybe one or two virtual assistants or whatever else. And that's fine. I almost prefer this business model in some way, but you're going to have a 9-to-5 basically. You're not going to be able to grow it above. And if that's what you want, that's cool. So there's this kind of people that just do everything on their own and just, they don't have this, they have this limiting beliefs around hiring. And there's the other extreme, which is kind of like me, which is not good also, who overhires and delegates when the amount of clients that I have doesn't really sustain the side of my team. So that's a lesson that I'm learning right now. I'm working on it. So hire in due time, and honestly, just read the book Profit First, because that's going to explain everything I just told you in a much better way. SOPs. The third lessons that I've learned recently is SOPs. That stands for Standard Operation Procedures. And as you grow your team, you're going to have to train them. And I thought of the training as something I always thought about it as something a bit boring to do. I'll teach them myself, and once they know it, they know it. But no, you always want to have like training for absolutely everything in the business and operation and system. Like if you're going to just be under, 10 clients, that's fine. Maybe you don't need that. But if you really want to scale to working with 50, 100, 200 clients, you're going to have to have systems and SOPs in place. And that's really going to help your team, and that's going to give you peace of mind, because you know that if you get sick at some point, you want to take holidays, you got a system full of SOPs, and people can just refer to those SOPs. Each time you get a problem in the business, you can say, oh, I'm at an SOPs about this, just go ahead and check it out. So SOPs is now I'm just doing SOPs about everything, and that really helps my team, that helps my peace of mind, and that helps me feel like I'm building a great foundation for this business so that I can scale and get more and more clients. Another one, the fourth lesson that I'm learning recently, and the very, very hard way, is prioritizing. Basically, prioritizing. That's when you're running a business, there's just so many things that are just part of building a business. And if you don't know where to put your focus on, it's really tough. It's very easy to put your focus on the wrong things. Like if you're starting, perhaps you think that building like this website with this beautiful widgets or colors, and you put so much times and days and hours into doing that website that nobody cares about your website. And you're putting your focus on the wrong thing. Like if you maybe have a team, perhaps you're focusing on, like improving your call center, if you have a call center like me, and just like refining it and just improving the systems of everything, when the bottleneck of your business is actually client acquisition or your show up rate, or maybe your cost per lead is just way too high, and therefore your cost of acquisition is too high. Or maybe your real bottleneck is none of this. It's just that you're not spending enough on ads to even scale, and you're just trying to fix all these things when the only thing that really is the biggest problem is that you're not spending enough on ads. So identifying where is the actual core issues of your business is a very big thing. And the only real way that can help, that I found, is just tracking every single metric you possibly can. All your numbers on your business, Something, again, I'm saying that, but I'm not doing it as much as I should. But I just want to share where I'm at in my journey and what I'm working on, and hopefully you can learn from my mistake. But tracking things like cost per lead, cost per acquisition, cost per book call, show up rate, call per the cost per intro call, cost per demo call, all of that, and you need to have like targets and see when you didn't hit those targets. That's going to tell you where is the bottleneck in the business, and tracking your numbers, it literally just tells you where you got to put your focus on. So yeah, that's a big thing, prioritizing and tracking your number. Now, another thing I want to mention, and it's completely unrelated to this, but I just got a few bullet points, and that's something that really helped me. So investing in coaching. And I know that's something that sounds like a coach would say. Like for me, I had a huge limiting belief around coaching for a lot of time, because that's usually coaches that are telling you to invest in coaching. And you're just like, of course you want me to invest in coaching because you want me to spend 10 grand in your program. But to be fair, that is true. That is the truth of it. You have to invest in coaching people that are above you. And I know you've heard it a billion times, and it's for me, I used to hate to hear it, to be honest, because I wasn't doing it and I thought I could crack the code on my own. But there's a smart way to invest in coaching and a non-smart way to invest in coaching. I'll tell you what the mistake I've done. The mistake I've done is investing in mentors that are not exactly in the niche that I'm in, and they're a bit of like generalists. I'm sure there's value to hire this kind of guys. I'm not saying it sucks, but I'm telling you, for me, in my specific case, growing my MedSpa agency, what helped me is hiring mentors that are doing exactly what I do. Whether it's someone like, by example, to help me just build my call center, which is a very, very specific problem I have in my business, or taking buying 1 hour coaching section with people that are exactly in the same niche than me, or in a very similar niche, that are just telling me what's wrong with my business. Even if it's just like hiring them for 1 hour, just pay someone a certain amount of money just for 1 hour of their time, and make sure that they know what they're talking about. They're legit. Ask them about their numbers, how many clients they have, how much revenue and profit they make before just getting into it. And make sure they make most of their money from the agency, not from the coaching side. Actually, you could just ideally go hire someone as a coach that isn't even a coach. That's going to be the best thing. Like someone isn't a coach, and that way they're for fact making their money from the agency. So yeah, hire coaches, but they have the exact expertise that you need. If obviously you're just starting, you don't even know what sort of business you wanted to get into, obviously you can hire someone a bit more general. But once you do have a business, have a couple of clients, you're going to have very specific problems. And make sure that, again, I've made this mistake paying 12 grand to get into programs that had a lot of value, and I've met a lot of people in those programs that helped me, but I was limited because the expertise, the people in it teaching in those programs weren't exactly my specific niche. So that's really a big thing. Invest in coaching, and then this one is so important. If there's anything that gonna help you grow your agency, is this: burn bridges. All I'm telling you right now is more related to technicality, SOPs, numbers. It's kind of technical, but if you zoom out for a second, you got to zoom out, and you got to have a look at what is the driving force behind everything. What's even make you want to grow this agency? And if what I'm about to say isn't aligned, or you don't do it well, basically there's no way you can grow your agency, or at least grow it fast. And that's just burn bridges. Have no choice but to make it work. And that's control your environment. If you, by example, live with your parents, you have your expenses paid, you're comfortable. It's hard for you to want to make this business work, because you could fail, and worst case scenario, you stay in your mom's bed, she gives you food every day, whatever, and you stay in the same spot. You don't need to make it work. Let's say like my case was that I received a bunch of money as an inheritance from my family, and for a long time I've had like these big savings in my bank account, which led me to still, want to grow my agency, but growing it very, very, very slowly, and it's only up until you have no other choice but to grow that you actually grow. Like humans, just like that, we work with incentives, like whether it's the employees in your business or yourself as the boss. Like, what is your incentive? It's good to have people to create incentives for others, but what is your incentive as the CEO of your business? Like, what's your incentive to make it grow? If you're living with your parents, you have zero incentives because you're going to be fine anyway. If you have a bunch of money set aside, you don't need to grow this business. Or if you're comfortable in any other way in your life, and where you don't have an absolute necessity to grow the agency, I will never put my money on you. I will never think that this guy is going to grow. Maybe some people are self-motivated enough, and that's great. I'm sure there's exceptions, but for most humans, we follow incentives. And if you don't have to do something, usually you're just going to be lazy. So burn bridges. Like if you live with your parents, move out, and I know that sucks. You're going to have to maybe get another job on the side and to sustain your needs or whatever. Or if you have a bunch of money aside, just invest it in something, or just don't have access to that money. Just put yourself in a circumstance where, if you don't make this agency work, you're gonna feel the pain. That's important. So yeah, that's this one, burn bridges. And yeah, the last one I want to talk about, it's on a different note, it's the work-life balance. So I don't know who's watching this video, how old you guys are and everything, but a big thing is the work-life balance. It's easy as you grow, there's seasons in life. There's seasons of intense work and seasons of less intense work where you gotta also enjoy life. I don't know what's your character. There are people who don't care about enjoying life and all they care about is work, and that's fine too. But I'm just, again, talking from my experience where I do enjoy work and I really want to build something great in my life, but I also want to take care of my relationships and my other projects on the side. I do videos and short films and that kind of stuff. I have hobbies on the side and I have to take care of these parts of my life. So my advice is have intense seasons where you go kind of like monk modes, but be aware when you need to step out of these seasons. And it can be hard because sometimes when you're just too busy working, you don't have enough time to self-reflect and realize when it's time to step back. And then you're only going to step back when you're forced to step back, when you essentially burn out. And if you can avoid burnouts, that's great. You have to, you can put it in a religious way. You would say put God first. If you put God first, He will tell you what you need to do, if that's working hard or taking care of other parts of your life. But if you don't believe in God, you could just think of it as taking care of your mental health, and it's a marathon, not a run. And the person who's going to be consistent, not working 12 to 15 hours a day, but going to put consistently 8 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week, I bet on that person more than the person's going to go 13, 14 hours a day. This is not sustainable. Even the 12 hours a day, it's difficult. If you're going to go to the gym, if you want to sleep 9 hours like I do, I know people sleep less, but you just got to figure out what works for you, what's your personality type and everything. And I think the younger you are, the more you can handle this pain. That as you grow a bit older, you also realize that it's important, the work-life balance. But if you're in a season of your life where you got to put your head down, put it down, but also be aware you're human. You can break, and if you break, you're gonna take 10 steps back. So sometimes taking a bit of time off is like taking 2 steps back, and then you take that allows you to take 4 steps forward. But if you burn out, you're going to take 20 steps back and then take one little steps forwards. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's pretty much all I have for this video. Thank you for watching. If you want me to cover any specific topic, just leave your comment, and honestly, like, I'll just probably do a video about it, because yeah, that's I have like 5 subscribers. So yeah, if you leave a comment, I probably read your comment and take it seriously. So yeah, give me ideas of video you want me to make. If not, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.